What's up, guys? Carlo here. So the second part, when it comes to building your own lead magnet to attract people, to give them some kind of value so they can join your email list and you can sell them later, and you make every single penny of your Facebook ads worth. Why? Because you don't have to pay again and again for people's attention. You already have their email, you already have their information, so you can contact them as long as they want to be in your list, right? As long as you sustain them and you give them value and you give them a good reason to stay on your list, right? But yesterday we saw and we learned how is it that you can make that lead magnet, that first part, and how can you get the pains, the pleasure, and all that information that you're gonna need in order to make something that is actually valuable for them, right? For your market, that it's something that actually gets their attention and works as an actual magnet so they can actually join your list, join your community, right? And then buy from you. So after having all of that, the second step is to make your structure, right? One thing that I truly believe works is planning it out before doing it, right? So before you even start writing, first you need to have your headline, right? The headline is, for me, the most important part. That's the part where you put, like, for example, three strategies. Let's say that you're talking to people that love cooking, right? So 3 strategies to always use the right spices, something like that. So once you have that headline, it guides every single part of the structure of the lead magnet, right? So after you do that, after you really put very close attention to that headline, I really recommend that you do like at least 10 of those, and then just narrow it down to 3, and at the end just pick one. And from that point on, you can develop all the lead magnet. Also, one thing that is very important is that you over exaggerate that headline. It's not that you're gonna make it spammy, it's not that it's gonna be the final decision, but that's gonna force you to actually do something that it's outstanding, right? So if you put, for example, 3 ways to never burn your food again, right? That's something that I know you can't promise. It's not something that it's real, but it's gonna put your standard very high. At the end, you can always tweak it out and use the wording differently, right? Because we don't want to be spammy, we don't want to be clickbaity, but you know that your standard is up there, and you think like, wow, if I could actually do something that gets people these results, that would be just amazing. So your standard is going to be way higher, and your lead magnet is going to get way better because you're going to find the way to do it of that level, right? Because you already tested a really high level. So at the end, if it doesn't end up being here, at least it would end up here, which is way higher than here and your first option, right? So now what you need to do is that you need to have a structure. In my opinion, what I better like is to do headline, then do an introduction or a quote, so you can leverage like the knowledge of someone that is maybe an authority in that niche. That works pretty good. Then in the introduction, you start talking about why is it that thing that you're promising them is so important and so critical, and why and how is that it's gonna help their life, right? How is that it's gonna improve their life in that pain that they have, that specific pain that they have, right? So in that introduction, what I like to also do is have a couple questions, and those questions are actually indirect ways to tease them, indirect ways to bring up that problem that they have in their lives. So if we're talking about the cooking one, are you tired of keep burning all your dishes, right? Or keep burning the things that you want to do when there's like a special occasion and you're cooking for your whole family? Or are you looking for a way to stop burning those special dishes or something like that? Are you looking for a way to stop wasting all those ingredients? So you tease them so they indirectly want to know the information that it's gonna be in the next part of that lead magnet. Next, what I like to do is to explain a really specific concept. So if we're talking about the cooking niche, I would explain why is it that food get burned, right? I would explain that model, I would explain that issue, that pain that they have. So for example, if I'm making a lead magnet and it's about losing weight, and I tell people 3 steps to avoid gaining that weight back in the next 3 months, I would start talking about that rebound effect, right? I would start explaining what is a rebound effect. So I acknowledge their pain, and I acknowledge and explain what are they feeling right now. So now that they know what they're feeling, what they're afraid of, what's the thing that they want to fix in their lives, but in a really clear way and kind of scientific, they put yourself as an authority, right? They know, like, this guy is talking about something that at least he has research about. And from that point, you have already given so much value, because people, even though if it's a really small explanation that you could find on Google very easily, people are very like, they don't want to do the effort, right? So it doesn't even matter if your explanation is not like very scientific or very profound. You have already saved them a couple Google searches, right? And as long as you can give people something so they can do less effort in their lives to avoid that pain that they're having, you are already giving a lot of value. So from that point, I make sure that I'm giving so much value from the start. So it's already been like 1 or 2 pages in that lead magnet, and they have already gotten so much value, because you have saved them at least a couple Google searches. From that point on, I go and explain what is the first step, the second step, and the third step. Or if I'm talking about 5 principles or 5 strategies or 3 steps, I always try to talk about numbers and tell people 1, 2, and 3 things that are gonna help them out. Because in that way, they know, and they have this certainty of knowing that it's 3 steps, and they know, and they also got this sense of knowing where they're at, right? Because if they're reading the first step, they know, okay, first, after I read this lead magnet, I need to do this one thing, then I need to do this other thing, and then this other thing, and then I'm gonna get that result. So if you talk about steps, that gives people a lot of like certainty of what's gonna happen and how and what to do next, right? Because if you tell people like, yeah, you should start like lowering your heat so you don't burn your food. Okay, I lowered the heat. What do I do now? Right? So you need to guide them step by step until they get that result. After that, I like to conclude it. I like to have something that is very actionable, right? It could be maybe some questions. It could be like a cheat sheet. It could be a checklist. It could be anything that people can actually apply right away. So make sure that you have something that they can apply right away, that they can take a notebook and just apply it right away in their business. So in that way, they're gonna have that reference in their brain, like, hey, this guy helped me do this specific thing. So they have like something that it's tangible, right? So if you give them like a checklist, it could be like for cooking, for example, and you have that checklist, maybe they can print it out, or maybe they can have them in their cell phone while they are cooking next time, so they have like that kind of checklist and that kind of tool that they can use for the future. So make sure that you give them something that's tangible, something that they can apply later, so they can always remember about you, right? They can remember about your brand, and even though if they don't buy from you right away, they're still gonna get benefited by the thing that you gave them, and maybe they just buy later, right? Maybe they don't cook that exact same day, but maybe they cook 1 week after, and they use your recipe, they use your checklist, and they're gonna remember about you, and they're gonna be wanting to buy from you, right? Because people, most of the times, they don't buy right away. they don't buy it the first time they see you. So you need to have a way to just stick in their lives and also be able to follow up, also be able to contact them again. So that's the process. Then at the end, I like to conclude everything that they've learned, hopefully in a graph or hopefully in something that is very visual. So like, okay, in this lead magnet, you learn to do this thing by applying step 1, step 2, and step 3, and this is the result that you're gonna get, right? And you can also add some tips, some insights, some things that you realize after doing this whole process over and over again, right? And then it comes the call to action, which is something that I'm gonna cover tomorrow. So if you're interested in this, if you want to apply this to your business, if you're growing your own business or you already have a business and you want to increase your conversion rates, make sure to schedule a call with me down below. There I can assess what are your needs, what's your current business, and how I can help you out if we're a good fit. So I'll see you back tomorrow, guys. Peace out.